Well, if it isn't that time of year again, it's time for Geoff Keighley to take to the stage and show us some video game trailers. Hang on, no, this is Summer Games Fest. No, that's Gamescom. We're looking for the one with the awards tacked on to the video game trailers. Yeah, that's the one. It's Game Awards night, and if you are a regular viewer, then you already know how this works. If you're new here, I'm going to be going through the Game Awards and talking about all the trailers I found interesting, and if I think they look good or not. As well as talking about the awards and some of the more stranger moments of the event. Alright, let's do this. Oh, but just to save you a bit of time from the start.
And the game of the year is... Mon ami Clair Obscur, Expédition 33!
Yeah, that's right. Expedition 33 swept the awards to almost nobody's surprise. Hell, anytime the game was mentioned throughout the show was met with like a massive applause. Expedition 33 won 9 awards from 13 nominations, only losing out on awards to Best Audio Design, which they lost to Battlefield 6, Player's Voice to Wuthering Waves, somehow, and finally to Best Performance to itself because it was nominated 3 times in this category, but it can only win the award once. The Game Awards show actually started off with the opening act, which is a funny name for a pre-show. The first game trailer was for The Free Shepherd, not to be confused with the other atmospheric sheep herding game Summerhill, which was shown in Summer Games Fest 2024. This was certainly a game to start this off with. 2027 release? Nobody's gonna remember this. Oh, we're really giving away awards in the pre-show again? Best family game goes to... Okay, yeah, that's absolutely fair. Decrepit actually has me a little interested, if only because of the zombie wheelman. Why aren't there any awards being given out for best designed enemies? You know, I'm gonna cast my vote for this guy. The going rate for a trailer for this event is supposedly around $450,000 for a minute-long trailer. So, you know, you could shell out for that, get your game on here, but you can't pay the extra money for a better song to use for your trailer. The only reason I'm interested in this is because it's from the guy who made Audiosurf. It's not because of the trailer. Innovation in accessibility went to Doom. It's an award I really like that they give out. Almost every time they do, I know nothing about what any of these developers do to make games more playable for everyone. And that's a me problem, but it is an award that does not get enough praise and should be given out in the main show and not the pre-show or the opening act.
Best time for you to play Guild Wars 2 is now.
Isn't this the best time to play Guild Wars 1 Reforged? Because, you know, that just came out, right?
So here's a hint about what's coming up. Lara Croft's return in the next Tomb Raider.
Hey, can you please stop spoiling shit and, you know, stalling for time? The event is 3.5 hours long. You don't need to pad out the event. It's already way too long. If there was any clear evidence as to why the Game Awards should toss out the esports awards, it's because they announced them all at the same time during the pre-show. Look, I think we're well and truly past the point to bin these categories. Pragmata is a game that has been quote-unquote coming out for years. The first time I actually heard about this game was from a trailer that was announcing one of its many delays. I am actually excited for this one. It does look very unique, and there is a demo for it, which I'll probably try after I finish making this video. Best mobile game went to the Horse Girl racing game. I don't think anyone was surprised by that. I've never been able to find the time to carve out to play Baldur's Gate 3, so I don't think I'll be able to do it for Baldur's Fence. I'm kidding. Solasta 2 does look good. Unfortunately, it's going to get absolutely overshadowed by a bigger reveal later in the show. Tank Rat looks absolutely sick. This game is being published by Kepler Interactive, who seem to be on a pretty big winning streak as a publisher. And I didn't end up counting, but I did see their name among many trailers in this entire showcase. There had to have been at least 6. So I think they are very much riding on their Expedition 33 high. Bradley the Badger. I don't know what to make of this. On one hand, the gameplay looks very creative and fun. On the other hand, if Bradley talks as much in the game as he did in the trailer, I'm for sure going to hate it. Every now and then you see a trailer that leaves you absolutely speechless, and Stupid Never Dies definitely did that with its very long pop duet music video trailer that then transitioned into being an actual trailer for the game that made it look kind of okay, but I don't know what the fuck was going on here. It was wild.
Okay, if that doesn't get you hyped for the main show, then maybe you're the problem.
Go fuck yourself. Best adaptation went to The Last of Us Season 2. I mean, this category was a shit show right from the start. No Sonic 3 or Twisted Metal Season 2. So who really cares if a season of a show with, 2 good episodes and 5 filler ones, leaving a story half finished, gets the award? Alright, now we are onto the main show, which opened up with a performance from the Game Awards Orchestra and Lorien Tassard from Expedition 33, which was pretty good. They then proceeded to cover the entire stage with rose petals. I kind of wonder if the rose petals that dropped during the performance are going to be there on stage for the entire show. Don't worry guys, I'll be on Petal Watch. I've got this. Ooh, we got our first Hollywood celebrity appearance. I'll give this a pass because one, Jeffrey Wright is a GOAT actor, but he was also recently in the game Dispatch and he was really good in it. Bit weird he is doing the award for Best Action Game with his son, but whatever. And the award for Best Action Game went to Hades 2, which was well deserved. Great game, but I suck colossally at it. I like how this trailer was trying to keep the mystery alive for so long of what it was, but as soon as you see the silhouette of that hair bun, you know it's Star Wars. There is no other sci-fi franchise that has their women fuck their hair up like this. Remember, no gameplay, no hype. Hey, can't you all hear me? Yeah, I know it's a sequel to a universally loved game that people have been asking for years, just chill out. Okay, don't worry, Miss Piggy is here to fuck up the celebrations. Thanks, Miss Piggy. Oh my god, what year is it? Every time I see Toxic Commando, I sway back and forth on whether I think it's going to be any good or not. This latest trailer has swung me back around to good, but stay tuned on if I change my mind between now and when it releases. I don't know what the fuck is going on here, but hey look, the pedals, they're still on the stage. Pre-rendered footage. Yeah, you don't say. Nothing gets me more hyped for a game than seeing a man get burned alive in horrifically slow and agonizing detail. Apparently they're going to try and make the new Divinity game bigger than Baldur's Gate 3. Good luck, Larian. I'm rooting for you, I really am, but I'm not expecting to see this game for another 5 years, if that's the case. Best performance went to Jennifer English for Expedition 33. Well-deserved award. Absolutely lovely speech. J.J. Abrams is our second Hollywooder to join the stage, along with Mike Booth, who was the lead designer of the Left 4 Dead development team. I swear any game that has released where anyone in the marketing mentions that they were a part of the development of Left 4 Dead always turns out to be a colossal failure. It's like the original Left 4 Dead development team was NSYNC and everyone thinks that they are the Justin Timberlake of the group. And judging by this trailer, I'm starting to believe that maybe nobody was the Justin Timberlake. And the metaphor that I'm crafting here is falling apart at the seams because I don't know enough about boy bands. The trailer was kind of arse. That should probably be your main takeaway from this. I don't know how you make a game about granny platforming and play that premise completely straight, but they're doing it and I really unironically like the look of it. Ontos, or Ontos? I don't know. Not a fan of the name. But the trailer was pretty gnarly. It almost feels like a futuristic sci-fi version of that movie Overlord. Yeah, I'm keen to see more of it. Games for Impact went to South of Midnight. Personally, I'm pretty sad it wasn't Wonderstop, but I could see that coming because during the sizzle reel for the nominees, they had voice acting from like all the games showing off some heavy and kind of pivotal moments. And then it got to Wonderstop and it was like 3 seconds of running around in the game. It's always nice to see how much these awards mean to the people who receive them. I can't see that I've ever seen someone announce ports for different platforms for their game while also fighting back like the happy tears. That was kind of whack to see. I've never played a Resident Evil game in my life. Would it be really weird to start here? Well, never mind. It looks like I should probably play Resident Evil 4 first because Leon Kennedy is also a main character. Maybe I'll still play Requiem first. Order of the Sinking Star is from the creator of Braid and The Witness. Both games at the time were pretty big successes. The Witness, though, was almost 10 years ago, and Braid, I think that came out in 2008, if I'm not mistaken. It's interesting to me that Jonathan Blow was one of the big indie breakout developers of the late 2000s, where, digital download indie games started to become very popular, like your Super Meat Boys, your Castle Crashers and such. But I don't think a lot of gamers today would even know the name Braid or even know who Jonathan Blow even is. Alright, his game? Yeah, it looks like a confusing puzzle game, which is kind of just right up his alley. Not for me personally. Oh wow, Mass Effect 4 is looking... Oh, my mistake. This is Exodus. Speaking of not remembering things, I don't think anyone also remembers Exodus. It was announced by Matthew McConaughey at Game Awards like 2 years ago with no trailer. Then it also had an episode in Secret Level last year dedicated to it, and now it's here. The problem is, whenever I hear about this game, I always have the thought go through my mind like, oh man, which one's Exodus again? And it's coming out in 2027 supposedly, so I have a whole nother year to forget about it again before it comes out. I don't think I understand the marketing strategy here by announcing a game 3 to 4 years before it comes out with no game to see and then going radio silent for a year or two and then just repeating that till the game comes out. The trailer for Warlock was the biggest nothing burger I think I've ever seen, kind of really banking off the name recognition of D&D here, huh? Screamer I was a bit iffy about because while the premise looked really cool, the racing looked a bit odd in the trailer. I looked it up and this is being developed by the team who did Hot Wheels Unleashed 2, so I think the racing actually will be good. So this has put me over into I'm very interested. I don't know why I get hyped whenever I see a Remedy game pop up. I don't think I've played a single one.
From the masters at Remedy Entertainment in Finland, whose last game, Alan Wake 2, won multiple awards here at the Game Awards.
Actually, Geoff, FBC Firebreak was their last game. I know everyone wants to forget that it existed, but that game was real, and unfortunately it did happen. Gang of Dragon is from the original creator of the Yakuza series, and this sure does look like a Yakuza game. I would almost call it plagiarism, but can you really plagiarize yourself? I'm sure RGG isn't too happy about it, but then again, their last game was about pirates, so they probably don't even give a shit anymore. Oh, we have like almost all of the actors from the upcoming Street Fighter movie coming on stage? Oh, they're announcing them one by one. Okay. Oh, hey, look, it's Jason Momoa. And David Dastmalchian is playing M. Bison? What the fuck?
The movie is not possible without you guys. We are so grateful, and we're not the only game that appreciates your patronage. There's another game out there. They also flew from around the world to be here because they appreciate you. So give it up for the whole cast of Mortal Kombat 2!
Yeah! Come on out! Yes!
Yeah. I'm just kidding. They didn't come. They don't care about you. They only care about money.
Jesus Christ, this whole segment was a catastrophe. You know what, let's cut to petalwatch. And would you look at that? Oh, there's still pedals on the stage. Cool. Look, the movie looks like it could be dumb fun, a bit like the Mortal Kombat movie. But this cast seems insufferable, most of which comes from old mate Brocane over here. Best ongoing game goes deservedly to No Man's Sky. I can't imagine having to receive an award while the entire cast of a fucking movie is standing behind you. Warner Bros. Games? You mean Netflix games, right? Or it could be Paramount Games at this point. I got a bit of flack during the Gamescom video I did for saying that Lego Batman looked pretty mid. I will admit the game looks much better here than it did before. Still not interested though, but it does look better. I always find it kind of weird that anytime I get heavy pushback on any of my opinions, it is almost usually for a game aimed for children. I don't know why. Can you imagine announcing and awarding 4 awards during the same span of time it took to announce and bring out every cast of the Street Fighter movie on stage? Most of whom didn't even speak while they were on stage. Well, you don't have to because it happened. Best audio design went to Battlefield 6, deserved, but that's only because Arc Raiders wasn't nominated. Content creator went to Moist Critical. This one's a popularity contest, right? I mean, I guess all of the awards kind of are, but if you're like me and don't watch many streamers, then who the hell do you vote for other than the one that you've heard about the most? Best fighting game went to Fatal Fury. The nominees for this award were a little weak this year, but yeah, okay, I probably would have voted for 2XKO, but that's probably because it was the only fighting game I played this year. Most anticipated game went to GTA 6. How many times do you think they can delay this game until nobody cares about it anymore? I'm starting to reach that point. Not actual gameplay. Wow, really, you don't say. So the reason they gave away the fact that there was going to be a Tomb Raider announcement trailer before was because it was secretly 2 Tomb Raider games. The first is Legacy of Atlantis, which is a ground-up remake of the first Tomb Raider game. Comes out next year. Neat. The next is Tomb Raider Catalyst, which is a new installment, which I'm guessing, because we've got a bit of a redesign here going on, it's going to be a reboot. Not 100% on that one. And this one comes out in 2027. If I were to pick which one I'm more excited for, it would be the remake over the new reboot. More was shown of the game and it's closer to release. I'm guessing we're not going to see any more of the Survivor version of Lara Croft, which is a bit sad though, because I really did love those games. Next up, we got It Takes Two if it was a 90 Animes cartoon, which is going to be an exclusive to Switch 2, so I have nobody to play it with. Great. Love it. Another award dump. Best Action Adventure went to Hollow Knight Silksong. Good to see that it got 1 award during this whole thing. Definitely deserved. Best Sim and Strategy went to Final Fantasy Tactics, and the other 2 awards went to Expedition 33, which we already knew. I will say that the production team this year have really kind of stepped it up. There have been multiple really cool stage bits like this throughout the show, and it would be really cool to be there in person to see it all. I should have known that this was the work of Blizzard. I guess it's time to watch an incredibly amazing animated cutscene for a game or DLC I'm just never gonna play. Is Marvel Rivals in trouble? Because it feels like Deadpool is a, break glass in case of emergency type character. One of the strangest moments of the award show has to be when Gemma Chan came on to announce that she was going to be in 007 First Light, and that the upcoming trailer would reveal one of the new villains of 007 First Light, which isn't played by her. She's in the game, but the trailer that they showed didn't have her in it. The trailer was actually mostly to reveal Lenny Kravitz is playing one of the villains of the game, who then appeared on stage at the Game Awards to announce the winner of Best Score for a video game. Man, why the fuck was Gemma Chan even here? That was probably like a colossal waste of her time. But I guess she could also just go backstage and hang around and do cocaine with Jason Momoa and Brocane if she wants. Warframe showed up for some reason, as they tend to do every now and then. They released a trailer to finally answer one of my personal questions with the game. What is Warframe? For the trailer, they got Werner Herzog to appear and narrate it, and now I'm even more confused about what this game is, more than ever before. It was about at this point in the Game Awards show, I think I was starting to lose touch with reality. This shit is getting really weird. Oh, by the way, Hogwarts Legacy is free on Epic Games Store for the next 6 days, if anyone's interested. We've got another award dump. Best sports/racing game went to Mario Kart World. It's kind of funny, when they announced the nominees for this one, Sonic Racing got the bigger applause from the audience than anything else, and that was usually a telltale sign of where the award was going to go to. Best community support went to Baldur's Gate 3. I feel like that's pretty deserved. Best AR and VR, oh, who cares. Best RPG, okay, we know where that goes. Player's voice vote went to Wuthering Waves. Okay. I mean, if you ever needed any evidence as to why all of the categories and all of the nominations of the Game Awards are not 100% player voted, this is your answer. Also, how is Genshin Impact still getting nominated for this award? Raul! Again, you can have Hollywood celebs in the Game Awards if they're going to be in the games and be good in them. Raul is here to show off Saros, which just looks like Returnal, but orange. And if I'm being completely honest, if that's all this game is, I will be satisfied. But I bet it will be more than that. It seems to be a lot more story heavy, which I'm totally down for. No Law looks alright. If you squint while playing Cyberpunk 2077, I'm sure you could pretend that you're playing it right now instead of its TBD release date. Evanescence showed up. They played a song and it was pretty cool. I have no idea what game this song is from, but yeah, I really liked it. Rose Petals are still on the stage, by the way, and oh my god, what are those? Oh, it was for the Devil May Cry show. I didn't watch it, but I seem to remember people not really liking it that much, so kind of strange that it's here. Hitman crossovers are really weird. First they got Mads Mikkelsen back to play his character from Casino Royale, a movie that is, mind you, almost 20 years old at this point. Then they got Eminem to come in, who gives you a quest to go kill Slim Shady, and now it's just Mila Jovovich. So I guess we're just gonna go kill her. I mean, not that I played these games. She said that this is the first time that she's been in a video game, but her Wikipedia lists 3 other games that she's been in. Either she's forgot that she's been in them, which is pretty likely, or she's talking about her actual likeness being used in a game. I don't know. You want to hear a fun fact? Mila Jovovich has been in 7 movies based on a video game. I use the term based on very loosely because 6 of them were those fuck-ass Resident Evil movies, and the last one was apparently a Monster Hunter movie. I had no idea that existed. I don't know if anyone else does either. Anyway, Mila is here to announce the award for Best Multiplayer Game for some reason, which went to Arc Raiders, and I did not expect that. This was probably one of the most stacked lineup of games that wasn't, the Game of the Year category. I definitely think it has some recency bias going for it, but also, since its launch, Arc Raiders has been doing very well. Personally, I really love it, so I'm happy to see it get an award. Oh look, it's David Harbour. Okay, are we really just starting to rapid fire celebrities now? What the fuck is going on? Give me one sec, Davey boy. I'm sure you've got something really cool to announce. I'm just looking for... There it is. Pedals. Nice. They're still there. Don't worry, guys. Pedal Watch. Total War Warhammer 40k is not a title that really rolls off the tongue. I would have gone with Total Warhammer 40k. I think that's a better name. It's not my cup of tea, but I do really like the look of it. There are 8 Ace Combat Games? What? Yeah, now this is pod racing. Actually, it's called something much lamer. Star Wars Galactic Racing. Yeah, I think I'll wait to see actual proper gameplay. I'm starting to think that we might need another kind of decade-long break from pretty much all Star Wars media again. You know, just so we can get excited again, you know? Out of Words looks great. Yeah, I think it was shown at Gamescom earlier this year, if I remember correctly. I still think it looks beautiful. I'll definitely be interested to try it. Arknight Enfield. In my notes, this is all I wrote about the game. Just the name. And then I left it blank. And now that I'm, coming back to do the script, not even 2 hours later, I don't know what this game was. It's on the screen for you guys now, and Editor Me has obviously found it. But I don't remember a single thing. I don't know what this is. Editor Me here. Arknight Enfield was the game with a music video attached to a very CGI, overly animated anime game. Reason, now that I remember, that I didn't write anything, because it was another game that just left me kind of speechless, because I didn't know what the fuck was going on. How has this happened again? How is there another music video trailer? Phantom Blade Zero is another game that feels like it has been coming out for ages. I guess we will just have to wait another 9 months. Kind of strange to see Todd Howard on stage not announcing anything at all. Usually they bring this man out to get everyone hyped for an initially disappointing product. They didn't even show off any of the new season of the Fallout show, which is like a week away from coming out. He came out and gave an award. You know, I'm a simple man. Like, all I want is Todd Howard to come on stage and lie about the scopes and features of his games, because it's really funny. Now I'm just really disappointed. The lead up to the reveal of the Mega Man game was better than the actual reveal itself. I think that most of that does boil down to me just not really caring much about Mega Man in general. I'm sure if the reveal was a new Crash or Spyro game, I'd freak out. It doesn't really feel like this franchise has been on ice for that long to warrant this big build-up. Someone correct me if I'm wrong. And so we've come to the final trailer for the Game Awards. The last announcement was for a free-to-player, multiplayer, first-person class-based shooter. Oh. They really ended the show off on this, huh? Concord 2, Highguard, looks like the most aggressively mid-game I have ever seen. It is made by the team who worked on Apex Legends and Titanfall, which is probably the only reason anyone would be interested in this game. In the lead up to the announcement, Geoff mentioned that this game was developed in complete secrecy, and I've got to say, who the fuck would care if anyone found out about this game? Well, except for maybe like an executive at EA who saw what happened to Concord and wanted to pull out of any major projects that included any class-based shooter gameplay in it. Now, all fairness, this game doesn't look bad, but I feel like I can be a little mean to it, because if you have the balls to call yourself a quote-unquote new breed of hero shooter and then go on to show absolutely nothing new that I haven't seen in any other game at all, you deserve some pushback on that. Had this trailer been slotted literally anywhere else in the show, nobody would have cared. And if I were to, put my tinfoil hat on real quick, I have theories as to why this trailer was here. Firstly, it could have just been rage bait. It's a disappointing end to the show, and people are going to remember that. But you don't want everyone's first impression of your game that you worked on in secret to be this bad. Second theory, and I think this is the most probable, I think this trailer slot was meant for a different game entirely, and it was probably meant for something very big. For example, next part of the Final Fantasy VII remake, or maybe it was meant to be a new GTA 6 trailer. Rockstar do like to go all out on their marketing around 6 months before the releases of their games, and that timeline would have lined up if they were still releasing the game in May of next year. Or they didn't want to show up to the Game Awards after firing a whole bunch of developers in an act of union busting. Anyway, the final game trailer of the show is meant to be a showstopper, and man, Highguard really wasn't it. And saying that Highguard really wasn't it is a fucking understatement. This was just nothing. Yeah, Game of the Year, Expedition 33, we all knew that was going to happen. Not only because they won kind of pretty much every other award they were nominated for, but because it was foretold by the Flower Petals. You see, ever since they graced the stage with their presence, it was no longer the Game Awards stage. It was the Expedition 33 stage. And as long as the Petals remained, it was always going to be this way. They endured throughout the many elaborate set pieces of the night. They endured throughout the Evanescence performance. They endured the entire cast of the Street Fighter movies. They endured the video games orchestra, which was really good this year. I didn't really talk about it. Solid, as always. The moment the main show began, all the way to the end, the flower petals remained, for sign to everyone watching. Expedition 33 was going to sweep. Or, it's because nobody counted for how hard it is to sweep up things like flower petals before they planned on using it. And the stagehands, didn't have enough time to go around and individually pick them all up between setups and stuff. And maybe Expedition 33 swept because it actually is that good of a game that deserved most of the awards it was nominated for, and that you should all just go and play that game. Yeah, it is really that good, and it deserves Game of the Year. Anywho, thanks for watching Pedal Watch 2025. Like and subscribe. Thanks to my YouTube members, they're on the screen here. I'm doing a big end of year special video sometime towards the end of the year if I can get it done in time. If you're interested, stick around the channel. I appreciate it. Alright, bye.